What is up, just kidding, this is not a slow motion, I'm just talking like that. Anyways, back at it again with another GoDot tutorial, this time a 3D game, which is a really cool one. And for those of you slower folks who don't understand when I send an email or when I create a video where I say, no, I didn't abandon Unity. Well, no, I didn't abandon Unity. I will create Unity tutorials, GoDot, and Unreal Engine in a Game Maker, and Blender tutorials as well. Okay, understand? So yeah, we can now move on. So yeah, this is a really cool 3D game. Let's take a look at the preview, what we're gonna create. So I'm going to Command B to run my game. And as you can see here, it's kind of a like first-person Flappy Bird, not a first-person shooter. So yeah, I didn't say first-person shooter. Don't be like, oh, you say first-person shooter. No, I said a 3D first-person shooter Flappy Bird. So it's a really cool one. We will learn a lot of cool things. Think of it like a 3D Infinite Runner, even though I will create 3D Infinite Runners. But hey, anyways, you can download this complete project. Link will be in the description below. We're not going to use any assets because we have them all built in GoDot Engine. And if you want to learn about GoDot in more depth, you can click on the link below for my Game Dev Academy. Now, moving forward, let's go in the game here. And by the way, I also forgot, I'm just gonna give a quick shout out to my guy here, just the Game Dev channel. This is his tutorial over here, how to make a first-person shooter Flappy Bird. He allowed me to create this in more depth to explain it to you. So yeah, thank him. And anyways, moving now forward, this is a new 3D project, or actually simply a new project. There is a new 3D or 2D. So what we're going to do here is, first of all, I'm going to click here on a 3D scene, and I am going to name this one to gameplay. And here in the resources folder, I'm going to create a new folder that I'm going to call scenes. Okay, so here in the scenes folder, I'm going to save this gameplay scene. So scenes, and save it. Finally, thank you God. So what is the next step for us to do? Well, first of all, I want to create, well, let's say my bird. So I'm going to click here at the top to add the plus button to create basically new scene. And here I have, or clicked on a new, let's say this is a, I don't know, I called it a node, but I'm going to call this one a bird. But I am going to change the type, so right click on it and here change, not rename, right click and change type, and this is going to be our rigid body. So I'm going to click here on rigid body and we have it. And of course I'm going to Command S to save this in our scenes folder. Now the next step that I am going to do is attach a camera on it. So right click here, add a child, attaching a camera over here. So we have a camera game object, which is, well, as I said, attached on the bird. Now the next thing to do, I'm going to click on the bird again and right click, and here we are going to provide a collision shape. So let me just filter here for collision shape, and here it is. We have a collision shape. Now for the collision shape, I'm going to click on it, and here in the inspector on the right side for the shape, it's currently empty. I'm going to select the new box shape, and let me just do this. So I'm gonna just do this, move over here. Let's resize this bad boy. Something like this will do. Let me just zoom in a little bit more, resize them like this. And my fans are starting to go crazy, so let me just go over here and limit their functionality. So up to here they're allowed to work, or otherwise they are going to interrupt my tutorial. So yeah, this is okay. I don't think that you can hear this. And yeah, basically this is going to be our bird because it's a first person. And yeah, let me just go over here. Voila, this is our bird. This is everything we need to do to create our bird. Simple as that. So moving forward, click on the plus here to create a new scene, and it's gonna be a 3D one, and I'm going to call this one pipes because we are going to have pipes in our game. And Command S to save the pipes. So right click on the pipes game object over here, or node, add a child node, and this one is going to be an area. So this is an area, and for the area, don't worry, we will provide a collision shape. But before we provide a collision shape, I am going to right click on the area and add another child node, and this one is going to be our mesh, or CSG mesh. For the mesh here is gonna be, or currently it's empty, and I'm gonna go here and I'm going to select here. So we are gonna select the cylinder mesh. So yeah, this is the bad boy I want. So cylinder mesh, come on, let me zoom in a little bit more on him. Whoa. Okay, so for our cylinder mesh, what I'm gonna do is select it. In the transform here for the scale Y, I'm going to say 5, and 5 is nice. like 5. We like 5. And also here, let me just find where it says material. So operation, collision for the mesh, and shape, where it says material. Okay, here, and let me just zoom in, height, material. Here it is. So click on the mesh over here. You see when you click on it, you will open these top radius, height, blah, blah, blah. And here for the material, I'm going to create a new spatial material. However this is pronounced, I don't care. Click on that, and here we are gonna go for the albedo color. For albedo, click over here, and let me just go on the green one. So here is the greeny one. And yeah, these are the pipes, or the color of the pipe. Voila. Now for the area, we need to provide a collision shape. So select the area, right click, add a child, and we're going to search here for collision shape because we need collision. And for the collision shape here, I'm going to select empty, and I'm going to select a cylinder shape, same as what we have for our game object, which is a cylinder game object. So let me go over here and resize it like this. Really cool. Voila. Yeah, basically everything we need. Come on, man, my mouse is going crazy. So yeah, this is going to be one pipe. And of course, we are going to reposition this pipe. So here I'm going to say pipe 1. And for this bad boy over here, let me just take his transform, and the Y is going to be negative 7.31 or 37. So yeah, this is one pipe duplicated, and we are going to have another pipe because we need 2 of them. And for this bad boy, let me just zoom in on him. Where is his transform? So we have here 737 negative 1. Let's go for this one positive, but actually it's going to be positive 7.747 because I just want to make it a little bit above, just a little bit above, and that is basically all. Now in terms of this pipe over here, okay, we're not going to touch that one. Yeah, everything is okay, I think. Basically everything is okay. So let's go over here in our gameplay, and I'm going to click on this. You see it's like a link. You see gameplay over here, it's like a link. You can click on that and you can add here, for example, we can add a bird in our game. So now we have a bird in the gameplay. I'm going to click on the link again, and now we're going to have the pipe. So here are the pipes, and these are, well, pipes 1, and I'm not gonna make them child of the bird. So let me just go over here, pipes, and here for the transform, I'm going to say negative. So negative 10, so that they are away from the bird. Now, if I run the game command B, it will prompt me right away to select which scene I want to create. So I'm going to click here, select, and this is the gameplay scene that I want to run first. So now when we open, you see we have the gameplay, but we fall down because we have a rigid body attached and all of the good stuff. So what we need to do is we need to create a bird script. So let me right click here on the resources folder, new folder, and I'm going to call this one script. And inside that folder, right click, and I'm going to create a new C# script. So not GDS, but the C# script. And here I am going to go and call it bird. Voila, simple as that. Let's go over here to the bird scene and select the bird over here, and at the bottom attach that script on the bird. So it's empty, loaded, go in the scripts and bird, and voila, here we are. So let me double click on the bird script, and it will open it in Visual Studio or whatever you're using. You can use Notepad, I don't care, wherever you write your code. So yeah. Okay, let me go here, and what do we need? First of all, let me just tag the class and give a little bit of space. We're not going to use process. Instead, we're going to use something else. It's also going to be a process, but physics process, that is, because here, instead of inheriting the node, we're going to inherit the rigid body. And here in our public override void, this is going to be process or physics process. This is what we want. We don't want to call the base. Now here we're going to say if our input dot, and we're going to select is action just pressed, or type is action just pressed. And what is the action we want to listen to? I'm going to call that action flap. And this basically we need to create. So we need to go back here in our engine and project settings, and here for the input map, I simply paste here flap, and I'm going to click here add. And at the bottom, I'm going to select the flap, click on the plus, and the key is going to be space, which means here I'm simply going to click plus, as you just saw, plus key, and then press a key is going to be space, you click OK, which means when we press space, this flap action will be detected, which is this bad boy over here. And when that happens, we're simply going to call here vector3 temporary position, which is equal to our linear velocity, and our temporary position y is equal to 300 multiplied with the delta time, or the delta that is passed over here, and simply reassign it back. So our linear velocity is going to be equal to temp. What is this simply going to do is add a boost on the y-axis by this value. Nothing complicated, nothing that we did not do so far or in my previous tutorials. And if I run the game now, we will be able to flap, you see. Now I'm flapping and everything is flapping and we are flapping, you are flapping, and yeah, no, I know this is a lame song and it's not even a song. Anyways, let me now go here in the pipes, because now we need to right click here on the scripts folder and a new script and node C# over here. Everything is okay, but let me just go here and I'm going to call this one pipe. I am going to inherit here from spatial like this. I hope this is pronounced spatial. I don't care, you're here to learn, not for a grammar lesson. So here I'm going to select pipes and script. And from the empty, I'm going to load here script, and I'm going to load a pipe script. Let's go in the pipe script. What do we have over here? Well, here we're also going to use our physics process. So here I'm just going to say class, tag everything, remove over this, remove this over here. The first thing that we need to do is we need to randomize our y-axis. But before we do that, and actually I am going to use the process. In the process here, I am going to simply call our translate, which is going to move our game object or our node or however you want to call it. So let me just move this for one. Why? I don't know. Anyways, here I'm going to say new vector3, and that movement is going to be 0 for the x, 0 for the y, and on the z-axis is going to be 4 multiplied with delta, which is our time here that we can get from the process. This is going to start moving our game object, because translate will, you see, change the position by the given offset, and this is the offset basically. So if I go back over here and command B to run our game, you will now notice, you see how the pipe is coming towards us, which is really, really cool. And of course, if I go back here in our gameplay, and this is going to be our pipes 1, I'm going to duplicate that. We're going to have pipes 2, and this one is going to be at negative 20 for the z-axis. We're going to have our pipes 3. So select it, transform, go over here, and pipes 3. So if I command B to run our game, voila, you see now we have all of these pipes, which is really, really cool, But I also want to randomize their y position so that, you know, their one is up, other is down, so on and so forth when they are created. So here in their ready function, so this is the initialization function, we're simply going to call again translate, and here we're going to translate. So we're going to say new vector3, and here 0 for the x, I'm going to say 0 for the z, like this, and in between here we're going to have the y, which is going to be here basically gd dot rand range, and it's going to be from -3 up to 0, but this is a decimal point number, which is a double. It counts it as a double, so we need to convert it into a float, because a vector3 takes all floats as parameters, and as you can see here, this rand range returns a double. So let me just go here and check it out and see if that actually works. So, actually we need to start spawning these. So we need to start spawning them in our gameplay so that that can, well, work. And in order to do that, simply we're going to select the gameplay, add a child node, which is going to be our timer, which is going to allow us to call a function multiple times. I'm going to set the timer wait time at 2, and auto start will be checked. But here in the scripts, I need to right click and create a new C# script, and I'm going to call this one gameplay. So let's go over here to call it gameplay and attach it on the gameplay game object or node, and here from empty load and scripts and gameplay, here it is. So let's go over here and double click this, open this bad boy over here. Here it is. So what do we need in our gameplay? Well, basically we just need to call it in order to, or we need to have a signal from the timer. But here I'm also going to get the timer. So I'm going to say private timer, I'm going to call it timer. And in the ready function, I'm going to get the timer. So I'm going to say timer is equal to get the node, which is the timer or type of timer, and the name of it is timer. You see, get node, what is the type of that node? It's a timer. If I hover over, you will see type is timer. What is the name here? As you can see, the name is timer. But I need to select it and go here in the node and select its timeout, connect it over here to my gameplay, and yeah, I can call it on timer timeout, and I'm going to connect it. So now here, void on timer timeout, what's gonna happen is we're gonna load our resource. So I'm going to say here, and first of all, call the timer to start. This will restart the timer again. Now this is one solution. Another solution can be that we can select the timer game object itself, and we can say here or uncheck this. Actually, this one shot, when it's unchecked, it will start calling, I believe. Yeah, it will start calling itself over and over again when one shot is not checked. When one shot is checked, then, well, we need to improvise and do something like this. So if one shot is selected, it will be only called once. Now moving forward, and I thought that I unchecked or checked that one shot. That's why I got the timer. Anyways, it's not important. What we're gonna do here is I'm going to create a packed scene, which is going to be pipe prefab like this, and that's going to be equal to resources, so resource loader, so resource loader dot load, and we need to provide a path here for a game object that we want to load, and I'm going to call here as packed scene, or convert it into a packed scene. But that resource, or the where it's located, we need to go here in our resources folder and in the scenes, and I'm going to select the pipe. And notice here, this right here where it says file system right here, and let me just take my highlight tool just to make sure that you are seeing where I'm selecting this. So this place over here is where, or that is the string location. So copy that name and go back here and paste it. So that is the name where we are going to load our pipe resource. And now simply we can say spatial, and I'm going to call this one new pipe, and that's going to be equal to pipe prefab. So pipe prefab. What is going on here? Instance like this, and I'm going to say as spatial, and the new pipe dot translation, or its position, not translate, but translation is going to be equal to new vector 3 0f 0f and negative 35f. Simple as that. So 0 x and y and negative 35 on the z, so that I can position it away from my game objects. And then simply I'm going to say add child new pipe to add it in our game, and basically that is that. So if I command B, now we are going to see that we have our pipes, and notice now they are going to start spawning. You see, one is spawned, another one is spawned, and they are randomized on the y-axis, which is really cool. Now you can of course set the time higher or lower, excuse me. Wait time can be 1.5, which means every 1.5 seconds a new pipe is going to be spawned, but I'm not going to do that. You can experiment on that. What I'm also going to do, and this is the last step, is go here, and since this, you see the pipe is actually an area. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select it and go here under node, and I'm going to select here on body entered or body entered, and I'm going to connect that over here on the pipe, and I'm going to call this one on pipe body entered. So on pipe body entered, I'm going to connect it, and here in our pipe, this is where we are going to call it. So void on pipe body entered. This takes a physics, so it takes a physics body, which I'm going to say I'll call body as a parameter. But we also need to go here and select the other pipe and also connect its body entered. So connect it over here on the pipe, and also here select this and paste the function name on pipe body entered, because both functions, we want to connect these two areas in a single function, so that when the bird touches the upper pipe or the lower pipe, only one function will be called, because here we're simply going to say if our body.isName, or actually if body.name, not isName, is equal to bird. So if the name of the game object, the body that we have collided, is bird, we're gonna do what? We're simply gonna say get tree here dot reload current scene to reload the current scene. And if I go back here in our engine, Command B, let's take a look at that. Now when we hit one of these pipes, we are simply going to restart our game. Let's fall down and try to hit the pipe. You see, bam, you see now the game has been restarted. I'm starting from scratch. And of course, notice now how the pipes are being spawned and how they are being randomized. You see where now all these pipes are now a little bit up, so I need to be careful. And you get the point. You can, of course, add the score. You can do whatever you want now. That's up to you. If you want to learn more, so yeah, if you want to learn more about GoDot Game Engine, I have a Game Development Academy. Click the link below. It's a special discount for you because you're watching this video. And of course, I also have Unity tutorials. Unreal Engine is coming soon. GameMaker, Blender. Stay tuned. You can download this complete project, subscribe, share, and all the good stuff. And I will see you guys in another video.